All righty. Oh my goodness. Look who we have in the studio.
I tell you what, Greg, it's been a long time.
It's been a long time. Folks, here we have Danny Wood, one of my favorite people on the planet. That's not even kidding.
Right back at you, man.
Not even kidding.
I tell you what, you're a front runner, man. You would come to my classes and you'd come in with your camera and you said, everything's going to be video. Video, right?
It.
And, you're the one that got me started years ago.
That's it.
So it's great to be back here with you.
Absolutely. So Danny is with Sandler Training, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Got that right. 26 years.
26 years.
Yeah.
Top sales training organization that I know. That doesn't that's not a big but it's one of the top, right?
It is. Yeah, it's not just your opinion. It's voted that. So yeah, and getting better.
Good.
Right? Never satisfied, right?
All right. Yeah, so
there's a lot of good things to talk about. What we're up to, what we're doing.
Awesome. Yeah, so we want to hear about that. What do you want to start with first?
Well, maybe how I got here, right?
Yeah.
How we got started with Sandler,
yeah.
right? This one, I consider it a blessing, quite frankly. And I used to be in the clothing business for 16 years with young men's apparel, and it just came a point in my life where I was doing a lot of travel around the world, and I had little kids, and it was just time to do something else. I was head of sales and merchandising for a young men's apparel company, and I used to listen to a lot of self-help type of material, and Entrepreneur Magazine, and all kinds of selling books, and said, I'd really like to do something. I didn't know that it even existed.
Right.
And then one day, just out of frustration, I was going through the Lincoln Tunnel in Manhattan, and nobody was kind of letting me in, right? And I plugged in the little cassette, and it was Deepak Chopra.
Okay.
I believe it was 5 or 7 spiritual laws of success.
Okay.
And one of them said, do what you were meant to do. And I said, damn it, Deepak. I'm going to make it happen, right? So I went and left.
So that was where you said sales training is what you wanted to do.
I wanted to do something else, and I didn't know that a company like this existed.
Oh,
right. Yeah. Sandler. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I found Sandler. I went down to see them, and I might as well tell you that story.
Yeah.
I was being courted, right, by others. I guess it was out there like, hey, other companies were getting leads of, hey, this guy's interested in representing a sales training company. I didn't like the way they were selling me. I was like, what is this? There was pressure.
Right.
Oh my God, very uncomfortable.
Okay.
And then Sandler contacted me, and the way they went about it was just comforting and just felt right. So I go down to Baltimore where they're based, and I spend the whole day there, and there was a guy named Ron Taylor, head of franchising, drives me back to the airport, train station, and he said, so, Danny, what do you think? And I wasn't going to show my cards, and I'm like, well, Ron, I got some other offers in the clothing business, and this would have been a big change for me, and it looks pretty good, thinking about maybe possibly doing this, going to talk it over with my wife, right? So I go, what do you think, Ron? And he goes, well, I'm just wondering if a guy in the clothing business can make it in this business. So I go to the phone in the train station, I call my wife, I go, this SOB doesn't think I can do this. Little did I know. There's a technique at Sandler we call negative reverse selling.
Wow.
And now I could sit back and laugh about it, but I was emotionally involved, right?
Wow.
And so we always say never get in front of your prospect and where they want them to go. And when your prospect is neutral, we call it staying behind them, not pushing them and saying, well, it's a chance of a lifetime, right?
Yeah, right.
So instead, going behind the prospect, well, I don't know if you would make it here, so, and let them push back. So it's special,
right.
It really is.
That's the the pendulum part of it, or is that
it's called negative reverse selling. It's also called the pendulum theory and strip lining. Strip lining might be the easiest to relate to because if you've ever gone fishing, you ever gone fishing?
Yeah.
Even as a kid or whatever?
Yeah.
Right. So what does the amateur do when there's a little tug on the line? I think I got something here, right?
Yeah.
And they got nothing. They got seaweed. They got a shoe.
Right.
There's nothing, right?
Right.
The professional, what they do is when there's a little tug on the line or a little interest, they do what they call strip line. They give more line so the fish doesn't feel any threat.
Right.
May even take it out to colder waters where it feels safe, and then right, and then they bite on the hook.
Oh.
So strip lining, negative selling, not giving tension when you're trying to sell something, because there's so much here behind that.
Yeah.
It's not just a move, a technique. Hey, let me go up to somebody and say, you don't need this. It's really not about that. It's about the psychology behind it.
Yeah.
Because when people feel pressured, they resist.
Right.
A lot of psychology behind that, right? We call that the critical parent. You need this, and all of a sudden your child ego state is gonna rebellious child. We're getting into a lot of psychology here, but Sandler is 95% psychology.
Yeah. Awesome.
In fact, he used to have a psychologist every Saturday after he would go out in the field, come and debrief his calls. And that's how he figured out a lot of the methods that we use and how to implement that, because it's all about people.
Right.
The more you know about people, the less you need to know about everything else.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not the case with a lot.
So I'll tell our viewers a funny little story.
I don't know what it's going to be, but okay.
Yeah.
I trust you.
I remember, swear to God, I remember the night I met you. It was at, I think, like an NJBIA meeting or something. Do you remember? Do you happen to remember? Well, no.
Yeah, sure. No, I don't. But go ahead.
Oh, okay. All right. Good.
This is, okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad we met, but I don't remember.
All right.
Yeah.
So it was at a networking meeting.
Yeah.
For
Maybe Commerce and Industry Association.
Maybe Commerce and Industry, right? So I remember it was a lot of big. It wasn't like your local thing. Yeah. And I said to you, I'm running around. We're doing a video we were doing a video of the
I know what I'm going to say.
thing, right?
Go ahead. Yeah.
And I think I had the camera on my shoulder. There was the TV camera, and I remember I probably said something to you of the effect of, "Hey, we should do some videos like of you teaching your sales."
Yeah.
And you hesitated, and then I said, "Or not, or not," and you were like, "Oh, I think you called it strip line." You just strip lined me or something, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So what I like about the whole Sandler program is basically what you just said, which is the psychology of it. But I've always been like sensitive to the I'm okay, you're okay, not okay kind of thing, just kind of naturally. I feel like so I'm there may be areas in sales or whatever where I guess I could push or not, or even mention something that would be helpful to the sales process, but that's always been, I think, in any interaction, my default, but like my biggest concern is am I intruding on them in any way, or am I being making them not okay in any way, kind of thing. So that's a kind of a gravitating.
I think it's great that you're aware of that.
Yeah.
When we talk about that concept of okay, not okay, right? So when somebody's not okay, they feel threatened, they feel pressured. It doesn't have to be a lot. I mean, it could be, but just the fact that they feel uncomfortable. And then certainly okay means, hey, I feel safe. I feel good. I feel open. I feel I'm non-resistant. I'm open to new things, right? So I'm feeling okay.
Yeah.
There's no reason for me to kind of put my guard up at all.
Right.
And a lot of people they're not aware of that, and they do things that make people not okay.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
Just not listening to somebody makes somebody not okay. Talking over somebody makes them, oh, you're not really paying attention to me, you're not listening. There's so many things you can do that can make somebody not okay. And when they do one of three things. They either fight, right? No, well, you're wrong. That's not the way it is here. Flight, hey, listen, time to go, right?
Yeah.
Or they think it over. You got somebody thinking it over, or you might have something there where they're not really feeling okay.
Right.
You know, I had
right.
there was a veteran sales guy, came to one of my public seminars, and he came in with a young guy, and he said, you know, I'm not here for you know, I'm here just, you know, brought my young guy here to learn. I've been doing this for a long time. Fine.
Yeah.
At the end, he said, "Can I talk to you for a minute? Me and you alone?" And I said, "Sure. What's up?" He said, "Well, you know, I got this situation. You know, I was selling somebody at this company, and it was business machines." And he said that I went into the CFO and I said to the CFO, "Hey, you know what? It's the last day of the month. It's Friday, last day of the month. You sign here, I win a trip." Now, some people might have said, "Really? That's great. Where you going?" Right? Depends on your disc style.
Right.
You know, the disc is something else we could talk about at a certain point. This particular person said, "Really? You win a trip. It's the last day of the month. If I sign now?" He goes, "Absolutely. That's what I do. Yeah, yes, I would." The guy said, "Come back Monday." So he made somebody not okay by making it more about the trip than it is about how he was trying to help this person. Not everybody would have reacted that way, but what makes somebody not okay can be, you just don't know. So the fact that you're even sensitive about it, I think, is great. And people early on, they don't, you know, they come to Sandler, they want techniques, they want moves. A lot of people.
Right.
And you might be, well, is that a technique? Is that a move? Not really.
Right.
But it's very important because our system, we have the methodology for selling, and the first piece is going to be communicating.
Right.
How do you bond, build rapport, help somebody feel comfortable, get a feeling that you belong together, put them at ease, not just being another nice person.
Right.
There's a lot of nice people out there, you know, but
Yeah.
not all good salespeople. Good salespeople are nice people, but not all nice people are good salespeople. So if that's the only, I guess, arrow in your quiver of to be a nice person and have a high need for approval, which is another issue, then you're not going to be very effective.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
One thing that you just mentioned was it's my biggest pet peeve. My biggest pet peeve. And I might have figured it out without my father telling me, but a long time ago when I was a kid, my father told me, "Greg, do not speak when someone else is speaking. Even if they interrupt you, stop speaking." Because think about it, even just from a technical or, you know, like if someone's speaking while you're speaking, your words, their mind is on what they're saying.
Absolutely.
And they're not listening to you.
Absolutely.
So I can't stand when someone's either on the phone or in person and the other person starts talking and they keep talking. Or worse yet, if they interrupt. That's I mean, there could be, I guess, sometimes where you could you know, it wouldn't be the worst thing to interrupt if it might be certain circumstances where that's okay. But that I never ever, someone starts talking while I'm talking, I and my father used to, you know what, my father used to call it, talk with your ears, Greg. Talk with your ears. You know, because you have to be like aware of what the other where the other person is at while you're talking, kind of thing. Anyway.
Hey, no, we got to go more on that because it's huge. I mean,
yeah.
you know, we can go through 2 days of training and somebody could say, "What's your takeaway?" I need to listen more, right? So when we're listening, like you said, such a great point, you know, keeping my mouth shut and waiting until you're done. Yeah, but Greg,
right.
That's not listening.
Correct.
Right. So listening truly is repeating back to you what you said. It sounds, Greg, like you learned from your father that he taught you that you really, regardless of where you are in the conversation, if someone's even in the middle of speaking, let them talk. Let them. Is that correct?
Yeah, even if you're speaking and they start talking,
exactly.
You know, just So,
see, so if you say yes, that's what I heard, or even corrected me just now, right? That's how you want to do it, so that you know that it's effective communication. Whether you're in leadership, management, selling, at home, that's really what you want to do. We call it the 70-30 rule also, which means that you want your prospect to be speaking 70% of the time, and you're speaking 30% of the time.
Gotcha.
And so you want to really be aware of that. And So it's not just keeping your mouth shut, but it's how to now you are, right? You got something to say there, Greg?
No. I was going to say kind of like now, 70-30. Hey!
I did it to you a few minutes ago. Yeah. So no, it's a key. It's definitely a key point.
And just to go back to what I was saying, because I literally remember you saying, I had the camera, and you were like, "Oh, that's strip lining or something." Yeah. I did that not as a technique.
Right.
I sensed in you a hesitation, so I was like, "Oh, that's okay." No,
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well, listen. The fact is that when you give somebody the opportunity to say no, your trust level goes way up.
Right.
That's in something we call an upfront contract, setting the ground rules. And when you give someone the opportunity in a meeting, Greg, nice to see you. Purpose of our meeting today is to see if what we do might make sense for you and your organization. I'm sure you're going to have some questions for me regarding who we've worked with, the experience we have, maybe even what our pricing and investment might be, requirements might be, and I'll have some for you as well. Things like what do you do now in regards to some of the challenges that we may be talking about? How is that working for you? Do you have any existing relationships with people that do what I do, and any investment parameters? I mean, it goes on. It doesn't go on and on. I would customize it for what I'm saying, but to keep it simple, it's the purpose. It's how much time do we have together, Greg? Do we still have an hour together? Get acceptance for that. Yes, we do, or no, we don't. We would have to adjust. I'm sure you'll have some questions for me. I'll have some for you. And Greg, I just want you to know at any point, if you feel for whatever reason that our questions and answers just don't match, let's shake hands and be friends. It's okay.
Right.
On the other hand, Greg, if we think that we have something here where I might be able to help you, let's figure out those steps at the end of the meeting, and that's typically doing an assessment or maybe some type of program that we can discuss. Does that sound fair to you?
Sure.
Right. So you're always helping somebody to feel at ease. You're giving them the opportunity to say no, and you're letting them feel like they're free.
Right.
They're free because nobody wants to be locked in.
Right. One visual that comes to mind is almost like, it's kind of like corralling as opposed to forcing anything. It's like, letting them be free the whole time, and that I can see how that
you mentioned another good point earlier that I wanted to bring up, and again it goes back to the psychology. And you mentioned your father. I always remember my father saying, right, and we revert back to some of the tapes that we've heard. We call it tapes, recordings that we have from our parents when we were kids. And it could be don't speak to strangers. Speak when spoken to. Children are to be seen, not heard.
Right.
Those are going through our mind, and now we're in a business development or sales position, and it's like, hey, wait a second. Just like you said, you revert back to your father's conversations.
Yeah.
We revert back to that, and sometimes that prevents us from doing the things we need to do.
Right. So let's say I had that, some kind of block, or let's just go directly into what you just said, which is, people's kids should be seen and not heard.
Yeah.
How does Sandler help undo that?
Sure. Well, glad you brought that up. One of the things, we've been talking a lot about technique, for some folks that might be like, oh yeah, hey, strip lining, 70-30 rule, hey, and then they're reversing. The thing about technique is cool, and a lot of people come for that. However, we have what we call the Sandler Success Triangle, and technique is one part. It's called the lower right corner, right? 3 equal parts of the triangle. We have behavior, which is on the left. It's your goals, your plans, the activities that you're doing to get in front of enough people of your ideal client profile, right? Not just busy activity. And so figuring, do you have a plan? Do you have a cookbook? If we wanted to bake a cake, we know, hey, I'm not just gonna say, hey, a little flour here, a little salt here, a little cocoa here. You got to know how much to put in it. So you have to have a business by design, not by default. That's our cookbook. On top is our attitude. Not just, hey, it's going to be a great day and a better tomorrow, but our attitude towards our company, towards the marketplace, and towards ourselves, right? So do I have my mind, body, spirit? Am I working on myself so that I am going to be as effective as I can be when I'm in front of somebody? Do I believe in what I'm actually selling? Do I believe in my company? And look, sometimes, a company, some people go, my company, we don't deliver when we say, or we have the highest price, or we have, and they're already, that means, hey, I'm talking about my company and my belief system isn't there, right? Or maybe that's great. And it's my belief about the marketplace. It's saturated. Or a commodity, right? Or maybe it's about me, right? And that I don't have the confidence. And so it goes back to your question. So what do we do? First, we have to be aware of that. Salespeople, we look and we do assessments. We look for people with a high level of self-awareness. That's who you want to train. That's who you want on your team. Someone who's trainable, has the desire, the commitment, the right outlook, someone who doesn't make excuses. They're aware and they want to learn and grow. They don't claim to know it all. This is huge when people say, why aren't my people working out? Yeah.
Oh, so you're talking about a company hiring people, not you looking for your people you'd like to train, or both?
Both.
Yeah, okay.
Both.
Yeah.
Because you want somebody in a program that has desire and commitment, a high level of self-awareness. You want that. Oftentimes people say, take all my people. It's like, well, let's look at the people who we really should be, who it's worth, you're going to get your ROI, right?
Oh, I see.
So you're really not looking for everybody, believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
Rather have people who are going to be in the room, who are going to bring others up and want to learn and grow and participate and not be what we call a hostage. We don't want hostages.
Right.
I already know this already. Oh, yeah, I've been doing this. And by the way, it's not an age thing. I mean, I have people that have been selling 30 years, and they're some of my favorite clients. It's not just, let me send you my new people. It's people who want to learn and grow. It's a mindset.
Right. Yep.
So, but to answer the question, you want to identify those faulty beliefs and you want to reframe them. So you might say, hey, I don't want to bother people, right? I don't like to prospect, right? Well, you can reframe that. I don't like to prospect, but I love bringing on new logos. I don't like prospecting, but I love going to the bank, right? So you want to reframe things.
Right.
I'm an introvert, right? If someone were to be that. Many introverts are successful at sales, right? It's so you want to take it and you want to reframe it, and you want to. We do a lot of journaling. There's a lot of self-awareness and work you want to do on yourself.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why we get along so well. We're always talking about another book, another way to work on oneself, right? There's no finish line on that. Right? And that's fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what would be, so you want to do you want to go into maybe a sales, overall beginning to end of a sale, or do you want to?
I think what would be interesting is to just take a few minutes and, everybody is AI.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So it's certainly, a big topic, right? And I think it would be great to talk a little bit about, that, but really what Sandler is doing with AI to really be current in what we're doing, because we're really into what's the best thing we can do for our clients. We really, really keep them in mind. It's not just about, hey, let's get people in a room, let's sell more programs. It's if we can get the ROI and we can create raving fans, certainly. It always, and that's one thing I love about Sandler, is that we're always never satisfied. And so AI, certainly a few years ago, when it started coming out, it's interesting. I have one client, and as most of us, a year and a half, 2 years ago, it was like, hey, what's ChatGPT even, right?
Right. Yeah.
Sandler was on it, incorporating it into our curriculum, and I was going into companies where they would have to do, let's say this was the Sandler Enterprise selling program that I was using in this particular case, where you want to be more strategic and you want to do research on and competitive analysis and really go in as the, it's way overplayed, trusted advisor, but as the expert, right, in your business, right? And so we were saying, hey, go into ChatGPT, go in, here's what you do, here's the prompts that you want to use in order to get the right information, here's a competitive analysis, so when you go in. And some of the companies were saying, what is it? And I don't even know that we can use that, you know. Hey, you know, we've got restrictions, I don't know if we're allowed. And here it is, you know, a year later in some cases, about a year and a half, that it's just in your everyday now, right? So yes, I think that using it as a salesperson to be more efficient, to help you stay more organized, I think is critical. And so, you know, most salespeople now certainly are using ChatGPT, using Claude, using other type of you know, AI tools in order to be more effective, help with some scripts, help with some things. But what we're doing is we have something called AI role play. Now, but I also always get asked, you know, hey Danny, you know, is AI going to replace, you know, salespeople? No. I think that the salesperson who doesn't use AI or doesn't know AI is not comfortable with it. It will replace those people. It's not going to replace the salesperson. It'll just make you better.
Yeah.
The fact that you want to take and some of the new technology, and companies should, right? But you need to have the relationship building. We need to be able to have conversations with people, right? We need to gain trust. AI is not going to gain trust from somebody, right? So that is critical, more critical now than ever. But what Sandler has done, it's really incredible, is they've taken, they've come up with the AI role play, and what we do now is we provide scenarios to our clients. They get assignments with you know, an AI partner, right? With a
Prospect? Yeah.
With a prospect, right? With a
AI
prospect. Yeah, with an AI prospect.
Yeah.
And it can be, we could say, make it a tough prospect, make it an easygoing prospect, make it an analytical prospect. What I do with some of my clients is we actually go and I even put the prospect's name in there, and pick the persona and the stalls and objections that they're going to hear, and they are practicing with their client, and it's not easy because what it'll say is, you know, well, Greg, I don't really have, you make your call, and let's say we're looking for you to do a 30-second commercial. Which is another thing that you want to have a well-structured 30-second commercial, right? Not just a blah, 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 we do this and that. I find most people don't even have one. Yeah. Right?
But you're talking about a video commercial that I'm trying to sell, right?
No, actually, I'm talking about an introduction. If you were just calling somebody for the 30-second introduction, not a real commercial that you would.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant you're okay. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, I get it. Well, I'm talking to the wrong guy, right? You know. It's like sometimes I have a question I ask in training because I do an exercise. You know, are you afraid of heights? You know, it's like me saying that, you know, picking a trapeze artist. Are you afraid of heights?
Right.
Pick the wrong guy.
Right.
But in this case, the commercial is what a commercial is when we have an introduction. Danny Wood, Sandler Training, specialize in sales and sales management training for companies. Right, entrepreneurial-driven companies and corporations. Typically, Greg, when I speak to senior leaders like yourself, they tell me things like, you know, we got really good people, but we're really struggling to get new opportunities in the pipeline. Really need new blood out there, right, in order to hit the goals we need to. Yet other times they say, hey, you know, Greg, we got meetings, but man, I'm really concerned because we're just not closing them. We're hearing, let me think it over, we'll let you know, and my people are quoting and hoping. There's a lot of stuff out there, and it's just not getting it over the finish line. Okay. And then sometimes they say, you know, yeah, we're closing deals. It's just got a discount in order to get the business. A lot of price pressure out there. and our business is seen as a commodity, and my people just aren't equipped to do it. We're not making the margin that we used to. So we help them through ongoing training and reinforcement. That's my commercial.
Yeah.
A lot of people just do blah, 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 features and benefits, things like that.
Right.
So in the AI role play, it would say, do your 30 seconds. So let's just say you were, forget the video thing you do. Greg, what's your, hey, Greg, tell me about the Riccardi Media, right? And then you would have to do that kind of commercial with an introduction, right? With who do you typically sell? With what are the pains? Not being the pain, but getting the pains.
Right. Yeah.
A little benefit statement, and then what I didn't put in there, which I should have included, is in this case, Greg, I don't know if you even experienced any of those things, do you?
Right.
Which is a hook question.
Right.
So the AI role play wants to hear that.
Yeah.
And then it'll say, "That's great, Greg, but I really don't have a lot of time. You're really going to have to help me understand
it'll
why."
Respond if you didn't give that nice.
It's going to respond anyway. I mean, if you were perfect, it's going to say, "That's all fine and dandy, Greg, but you know what? I got 4 vendors already. I got 4 suppliers already." Oh yeah. Okay. And then it's going to end up saying things. That sounds great, Greg, but you know what? Just send me something. So the person who goes, "Okay, great, let me just send it to you," not going to be rated too well, right?
It's like a boxer going into a ring with an AI boxer. It's like,
it is. It is.
Not that sales is boxing,
Yeah.
but like, I'm trying to think of, or an airline simulator or something.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, oh my gosh, that's a
unbelievable.
perfect example. How many hours do they put in a simulator?
Right.
Would you want to get on a plane with a pilot that didn't have hours, real hours, and hadn't been in the simulator? Why would you hire a salesperson? Why would you expect somebody to get your results that can't do that?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
How long is that out? Or is it?
About a year. Oh, no, certainly. Probably a year. About a year and a half.
And now that's part of your
absolutely
offering?
Part of the deliverables. It's now they're obviously, as I said, always improving. Even coming out with something now with an AI tutor. So within our curriculum, because I always assign, we have a very robust learning management system.
Right.
I mean, again, rolled out another new one recently, and so I always assign 15-minute simulators to people, right, that they watch so that they can get an idea of what we're going to talk about. So that when they show up for the class, it's not the first time they heard it. It should be, what did you hear there that hit home? What do you like about it? Anything you disagree with? What are you comfortable with? What are you uncomfortable with? And a lot of times, my clients, like I said, the self-aware people say, "Danny, I listened to that. I already started implementing it. I want to tell you about a success that I had." Those are the kind of people that you really want, right? But for the most part, back to this, we give them something that they can understand before they show up.
Right.
And so that's a big part of that. So think about that, Greg. Understanding something before you show up, right? Instructor-led training, right? Where we're talking it through and people bringing it to life, and then role-playing, practicing your AI role-play. This is how you make change.
Right.
We don't make change by learning it on YouTube. There's a lot of stuff. Look, there's a lot. Instagram, LinkedIn, right? There's a lot of...
YouTube.
Certainly, right. So, YouTube, hey, here's a sales technique, here's one. There's a lot of good stuff. A lot of it I see exactly where it originated from.
Yeah.
But that's okay, right? But the fact is, when you put it all together, that's how you learn. We call it the adult learning model, right? So first you get awareness, then you get knowledge. First you get awareness, you get knowledge, skill, and then eventually becomes mastery.
Yeah.
That's what we want. We want to go from knowing what to do to owning what to do.
Yeah, I remember, one of the best things when I was coming to your trainings was that, we'd go around the room, and some were, actually most of the ones that I went to were not one company. It was multiple individual salespeople coming in, but I'm sure it would be very similar if it was 10 salespeople from the same company. But everyone, you give your you know, you respond to this, you respond to this, and everyone would learn by someone else's mistake, kind of thing, you know, in terms of the. Yeah.
Well, the wonderful thing about that is that you can also say, we love to celebrate each other's successes, and when somebody does something, you could say, well, you know what, I mean, listen, if he could do it or she could do it,
right?
You know what, I think I can too.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And that's whether it's within an organization or whether when you have individuals, because like our public program, which we start with 10 weeks of essentials, right? Onboarding you, 10 weeks of essentials, Sandler concepts everybody needs to know. Not beginner stuff. Sometimes people say, can I put my experienced person, do they need to go to essentials? Of course, because I promise you they don't know what's in the essentials.
Right.
And very often I even say, Greg, to folks, I say, you know, I'm in the reminder business.
Right.
You know, if you want to bring the guard down, and it's the truth.
Yeah.
I'm in the reminder business. Hey, Danny, I learned something like that a long time ago. Do you do it? No, I don't.
It implies they already know inherently that this is right. But
Right.
You're right.
Exactly.
Like you don't know this.
Yeah.
I know it, and I want to teach you.
Exactly. Right. And so yeah, look, when you put winners in a room with other winners, good things happen. You know.
Yeah.
So, but you're right. And I have people in my public program that say, I mean, they own. I mean, let's just say it's a $50-60 million manufacturing company. The president will say, you know, that comes for years to right. He would come with his people, and he'd say, I love when the painting contractor says something. I love when, you know, this person says something, because we're all the same.
Right.
It's not my business is different. I get it. Everybody has. Yes, you have things that are different about your business.
Right.
But when it comes to process, you know, most people aren't doing what they need to be doing, right? Which is creating rapport, creating comfort, setting the expectations, uncovering true needs, which Sandler calls pain, which is 7-8 layers deeper than pain, than needs, right? And we have to not, when somebody says, well, I'm here to help you with your pain, that's not it. I mean, I'm already using pain, that's not it. I have to, you know, hey, I have to develop the trust.
Yeah.
Set the ground rules. Get the no. Right. It's okay to say no. It's a therapy session. It's not a sales pitch.
Right.
And so if you're not going to, you have to gain trust first in order to get there. And so once you get that, we can quantify pain. Greg, you say it's costing you this per month. And how many months has that been happening, Greg?
Yeah.
Right. Now, I wasn't a math major. I'd even say that. And I'm not a math major, but I would say it anyway.
Yeah.
I wasn't a math major, Greg, but if you took that and you multiplied that by how many months has that been happening? A year? I'm sorry, 2 years? So how much is that, Greg?
Yeah.
Right? It has to come from you.
Right.
When you figure it out, you figure out your own problems. You listen well, like we talked about. It comes from you. So you're going to say something like, you know, Dan, now that I hear myself speaking, problem I thought was the problem's not really the problem.
Right.
Problem might be me. Right? I don't know. It could be anything. But and that's another rule we have. You know, it starts with the problem the patient brings you is never the real problem.
Wow.
The problem the prospect brings you is never the real problem. We have to diagnose before we prescribe. And we have to listen and help people figure out what the real problem is.
The problem that the prospect brings you is never the real problem.
A woman.
So give me an
this
example.
is not a joke. I'm going to give you a joke, and I'm going to give you a real. I'm going to give you a story, a curriculum, and I'm going to give you a story,
right.
real world. But it is true. You know, lady.
Is it too cold in here?
No, I'm good.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Okay,
you're good. Lady goes into a doctor's office, right? And she says, Doc, my shoulder's killing me, right? And he examines her, and he said, I see what the problem is. You have a deviated septum. I don't, a deviated septum? I came here because my shoulder hurts. So I'm not saying you're ear, nose, and throat guy or anything, Greg, but do you have any reason why your shoulder would be hurting? I'm looking to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
And he says she has a deviated septum?
No idea.
Okay. I didn't either. Don't worry.
I'm
Make you
sure.
feel okay.
Yeah.
No. So she's sleeping on her side because she can't breathe well with her deviated septum.
Okay.
So now her shoulder hurts.
Gotcha.
So the problem, the patient
I
brings you, is
see.
never the real problem. So I get a lot of calls. Do you give presentation skills, Danny? And I said, well, I appreciate you bringing that up. Thank you. Any reason you bring it up in particular? Yeah, my people can't close.
Right.
Well, is it because it's that they're not presenting to the right person?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it that they're not presenting the right solution to that person, right? Yeah. I really don't know. Well, well, definitely not speaking to the right person. Mm-hmm. Is it because they don't have the skill to get to the right person? Right. I mean, so we have to ask questions that, that help them discover, wow, yeah, well, you know what, my people, they're not calling high enough in an organization. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Why aren't they doing that?
Right. And you're saying that any other sales organization, it's like not just with you, what you do, it's with everybody that's selling something. When a prospect brings a problem, it's typically never the
right.
Yeah.
But what we do, and I'm not saying others wouldn't, but I think that that's why we work on mindset. Right? I mentioned earlier, attitude, behavior, and technique. Because if your mindset is not that I can call higher in an organization, I won't. There's a rule that we always say: a person calls at an organization at a level with where they see themselves conceptually. So if I don't see myself as being CEO-like, and here I am because I'm a junior person or I'm just starting, then I'm not going to call higher. I'm always going to be presenting to the wrong people. See, we call them Seymours, right? Let me see more, let me see more, let me see more, let me see more. But they're not decision makers, right? They might be gatekeepers. Right. Now, the biggest thing that salespeople have, there's a term called happy ears. I have happy ears. I'd rather have a filled pipeline than qualify hard. Qualifying hard requires a mindset of not being tough, maybe internally, but of knowing that I have rights. Salespeople have rights. It's one of my clients, been working with for 9 years, the owner of a wonderful, successful, growing manufacturing company. When I coach him, he's always like, you taught me years ago, Danny, salespeople have rights. Salespeople have rights. I want my people to ask the right questions. You know?
Yeah.
Why are you looking for this at this particular time, right? What are you hoping to invest in this? Like asking the right questions and you have rights. You don't have to be a proposal machine.
Right.
And that's the big mistake people make.
Yeah.
So one more thing on that is, I was speaking with a partner of an accounting firm, very successful accounting firm, many partners. And I ask the same question to every CEO that I'm with, and I say, if there was a line on your profit and loss statement for the cost of a proposal, would that be a large number or a small number? They go, wow, I really never thought of that. I don't know how I'd figure that out, but I think it would be a large number. And I said, well, how many proposals, how long does it take you to do a proposal? How many other people in the firm or in your company are involved in putting the proposal together? How often do you travel and show it in person? Do you just send it, which is another no-no? I do a proposal and I send it and then I call and I follow up. Hi, it's just me.
Yeah.
Seeing if you looked at my proposal yet, which is not good. Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah, hi, just me calling, right? And then we do the just word, hi, and now we're subservient. Now we don't have rights.
Right.
So we're always going to suggest, if you're going to send a proposal, you want to have what we call a clear future commitment, right? Clear future commitment. Greg, let's do this. Let's get the date in the calendar now. And then when we hop on, what I'll do is present my proposal to you. And at the end, you can tell me if it's something that would fit for you or not. Either way is fine, right? But you don't want to lose control and just send proposals.
What if someone says, well, I needed to give my boss. I just needed to give my boss.
Greg, I appreciate that. So let's do this. You and I go over it together. And at the end of that, you can let me know if it's something that if you didn't have a boss you had to report to, would you be moving forward with what I just presented?
Mm-hmm.
And if not, no worries. And if so, you can let me know. Now, if, a couple things there. If they say no, there's no way, what, why would I be getting together anyway? But,
Correct.
you're already, anything but yes, or anything at the end of that meeting, rather, that they go, yeah, you are the person, you are the company. I mean, if you hear anything other than that, then, good luck.
Right.
Right.
The
The other thing we do is we have a technique called rehearsal. Where you want to rehearse with that person what are the questions they're going to be asked when they have to go to their boss.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Right?
Right. And so you're pretending you're their boss and saying,
Well, I would say to
almost
them,
like have them sell you like they're going to present it to the boss.
yeah, what are the questions
Or-
you think you'll be asked? What would you respond? Can I help you with that? Let's rehearse.
Yeah.
So here's a little story. Which, by the way, you want to early on be able to get, if you can, right, have that. I guess the mindset of staying in control. Greg, typically our next step, if you like what you see, is we'll get together with your boss. Is that fair? Right? So, granted, you can't always. I get it. But sometimes you can. Right? I often, when I'm on a call with someone, I say, Greg, appreciate your interest in what I do, and thanks for hopping on. Let's pretend for a moment that you like what we talk about. We have a good discussion. And I'm not saying it's going that way, but if it does, right? So I'm always staying behind a little bit.
Yeah.
If it does, who else would be involved in that decision? Oh, that would be so and so. So can we do this at the end of our conversation? If we feel that there's a match here, let's get that other person involved. So there's things you can do beforehand. We always say it's not where you fell, it's where you slipped. A car in a car race doesn't, when it hits the wall, that's not where that's a problem.
Yeah,
but that's not where the problem started.
I like that.
Right?
Yeah.
It's where it's slipped.
Correct.
So we have to follow our
Symptom of the
system.
problem. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And prevent those. We're in the prevention business. I can prevent some of these things from happening. Right? So I'm in a sales call with a company here in New Jersey. Actually, it was a property. They were going to lease out. It was in Jersey City, right? Your hometown.
Yeah.
And they were going to lease out these apartments, and it used to be an old factory. And I got there the day they were going to get their certificate of occupancy, and it was beautiful, right? It was. We were in the model apartment, and just kind of like this. It's like. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. The contractor would come in. He'd be putting screws into the plates on the electrical sockets. It was right. Smell of fresh paint.
Yeah.
And then we got into the point of the conversation where I said, we have what's called the decision step. Spoke about money. They had pain. Right. All this got to this point. Greg, not Greg. So-and-so, what's your process for making a decision on moving forward with a program like this? What's your process? Because I want to find out. What's their process? How do they do it?
Right.
Who's involved? When is it involved? When is it going to happen? Where? So what's your process? So he said, the owner had his sales manager there, and he said, our process? Well, give us a call next week.
Right.
Oh, man, give us a call next week. And I'm thinking, you're getting your C of O today. People are going to be moving in. Tenants are going to be asking questions. Are they going to want to hear from Danny Wood a week from now?
Right.
What's it going to sound like, Greg? Hi, just me calling to see if you want to move forward yet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You lose all control.
Right.
So he said, Danny, I'm going to talk it over here with so-and-so. And I said, give us a call next week. Give us a call next week. I'm going to talk it over here with so-and-so. And I said, you know what? Makes sense. You should talk it over here with your sales manager. But let me ask you a question. He said, sure, ask us a question. I go, it's a silly question. Dan, no question too silly. I said, appreciate it. Let's pretend it's next week. And you're having a conversation with your sales manager. What's that conversation going to sound like? He said, let me get this straight. You're asking if I'm speaking to him next week about your program, if we want to do it, you want to know what that conversation is going to sound like. I said, exactly. He said, it's going to sound like this. Hey, do you want to do the Sandler program? The sales manager said, yes, I do. He said, okay, we'll do the program. Like, don't lose control, right?
Right.
And that's called the let's pretend technique.
Right.
So you have to have, Sandler calls it planting your feet, not being arrogant, remaining in control of the call.
Right.
It's at this printing company. 2 partners. One guy was in disc, high personality. Dan, I like what you had to say in your seminar. Come and speak to my other partner.
Yeah.
I go in. Let's continue with disc, right? I is an interactor. D is very dominant, direct, no feelings really, to a degree, depending how high of a direct person you are. And they're in this call. I'm trying to set my upfront contract.
Well, just for the viewers, go through S&C.
Sure. So in disc, very, very important, lifesaver, take a disc assessment. A lot of times I meet with people and they say things like, I did one of those things years ago. I did a Myers-Briggs. And I say, well, great. What'd you learn? I'm a green. I go, what's a green mean? I don't know. I'm a green. I'm a blue.
Yeah.
So people waste money on this stuff.
Yeah.
Take a disc and live the disc. I always say, don't just take it, live it. It will help you in business and in life. So, the D is a very direct person, right? Director, right? They're bottom line, they want results, not a lot of small talk, depending on what degree you are, right? They're driven, want to win. The interactor is a person who is all about people. They like to, as it says, interact. They're influencers. They like to be around people, talk things through, socialize, right? Small talk. How's your weekend, right?
Yeah.
When they love Monday and Tuesdays, because they could say, how was your weekend? And they love Thursday and Fridays. What's going on this weekend? And they freaking hate Wednesdays. There's nothing to talk about. Then you got the S's, who are the stabilizers, right? They are steady relators. And they like to keep the peace. They don't like conflict. They're hard to read. They're not going to share their feelings. They have feelings, and they're very good listeners, right? But they don't like risk.
Okay.
Let's keep it the way it is, right? And then the C personality is what we call the conscientious people, the calculators. They love process and details and organization. Like to work alone and not very social. So you really want to know your disc. We're not just one. We're usually a combination. We are a combination of a few. And that's one of the things we do early in the program so that we know what our limitations are and we can also know what other people are so we can adjust. So that's what a disc would be.
Okay, and you were going to tell a story about the D. You were going to tell a story about...
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
You're doing a very good job listening. Are you biting your tongue, or are you? Oh, okay.
No.
Okay, because I said earlier in this that I'm going to listen.
Do I look like I'm biting my tongue?
You good? All right.
I'm a high I.
Yes, you are. Yeah, yeah.
Am I?
You are. Without a doubt. What was my story again? Speaking of high
I don't know. I hope it didn't.
Well, it was about. Yeah. So I'm in front of this printing company. High I personality, D personality. And I'm trying to set now that we know, an upfront contract. Hey, we're going to talk about, the purpose today is to see if it would make sense to evaluate and train your sales team, right? And in order to do that, I'll have questions for you, you'll have questions to me. By the way, how are we on time, right? And then they would say, like, they'd pick up the phone, and they would say, yeah, ship it, yeah, it's okay, yeah, I'll be there in 15 minutes. And I'm like, 15 minutes? I mean, I just got here. You know? And this was when there were actually phones on the table with a cord in the wall. And I said to the guys, I was trying to set my upfront contract, and I said, guys, can I ask you a question? Very, very successful printing company. Very wealthy guys, been doing it for a long time. And I said, can I ask you a question? Is it important enough to go uninterrupted for the next 45 minutes to an hour, if it goes that long, to see if it makes sense to fix the issues and challenges you called me in here for, that your sales team's experiencing? Because if not, it's okay. It's fine. We can call it a day. The high D personality, D's love a challenge, by the way. The high D personality got the cord to the phone, traced it to the wall, went over to the jack, couldn't get it out, pulled it out, threw it down, and he said, is that good enough? I said, that'll do. Right? But it's just if you have the belief, I'm not doing any fancy technique.
Right, you never would have gotten there unless you had the feet
planted in my feet, and the belief and conviction for what we bring to the table.
Right.
I know I can fix a sales team. I know it. Got referred to a guy who was at a lacrosse game. I had a client referred a guy. It was $1 billion company. Guy calls me up one day. I was in the parking lot. He goes, Danny Wood? I said, yes. He goes, I'm so-and-so. I was at a lacrosse game. My neighbor, our girls play together. He said you performed a miracle on his team. When you have conviction for what you do, right? And by the way, obviously, fake it till you make it. If you don't, act that way. Right. We act that way. I carry in my every time I do a training, I have $10 million bills, and I hand them to people, and I say, have a multi-millionaire mentality, and pretend you don't need the business. Otherwise, they can smell it.
Right.
Yeah.
Commission breath.
You remember? You do remember, right? I always do that, right? I got there. You know. I like to have fun in the training, right?
Yeah.
You remember with rubber chickens, and most people.
That's right.
Remember that? The rubber chickens, and pulling them out, features and benefits. Should have brought them with me here today. Yeah.
So I have, it's great with Zoom and with Calendly and this and that. After you have a Zoom meeting, it's unbelievable. It gives you the transcript. It gives you a summary of the thing. I'm blown away by that because I could print it out and use it to remember what was said and all of that. There's got to be. I'm hoping, assuming, and hoping that there's a way that can be plugged into some system or whatever to say, this is where you with like an AI system where this is where Greg, you could have done better,
yes.
or that kind of thing.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I mean, you talk about Calendly. I mean, that was and then now there's HubSpot. So we use HubSpot. Also, there's So I guess a lot of Microsoft. They all have a scheduler now. I mean, it's not new, but it took a while for some folks to get on it, and it's a lifesaver. Saves you a lot of time. But yes. Sandler, I'll give, again, more credit to the Sandler Home Office because what they've done with Fathom, which we use, they've partnered with them, and we have it where we would record the call and how well did I do? So, right, every step of the way. I mentioned earlier our process, right, our flywheel, we call it, right? It's a flywheel. It's communication. It's upfront contract. That's creating the relationship, right? It's pain, it's budget, we call it, or investment, and decision-making process. That's what we call the big three. The big three, that's where you're qualifying. Is there pain, right? Did you ask the right questions? Did you transition into budget and investment step and ask the required questions? Did you transition well into the investment step and ask those questions, right? Now, if it continues to the presentation, I don't know if you get that far in the first meeting, but presentation and something we call the post-sale. So that's close, and those two are called closing, right? So we have we have relationship, we have qualifying, and we have closing. And it will rate us on what we can do better. Now, certainly I could go and practice on AI role play, right, also. But for this call, it will tell us. Now, it will also, it could write a proposal for you if you like.
Yeah.
You know, and in addition to.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
Your system?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It will write a proposal, and it's key because it really keeps you on track.
Yeah.
Because you know, did you get 3 to 5 pains, not one pain? People think, oh, I got your pain. Oh, I think, oh, you need help. Hey, you had pain.
Yeah.
No, 3 to 5 pains. Did you go down the Sandler pain funnel? Did you ask? Tell me more about that, Greg. Can you be more specific? Maybe ask me an example. How long has it been happening? Did you try to do anything to fix it, Greg? Did it work for you? Right?
Right.
Anybody else impacted by this? Well, no. What do you think it's costing you, Greg?
Yeah,
Right. So you know, there's all these questions, and it's a guideline. I mean, you could, you know, you can deviate, but I suggest early on that you memorize these questions, and they should just be part of what you do. Your first question should just be, tell me more.
Right.
Tell me more.
Yeah.
And get down to eventually, you know, like, and there's different ways to go about it. I don't suppose you know, Greg, how much this might be costing you. Gee, I haven't thought about it, but a lot. Well, I appreciate that when you say a lot. What might you mean? You know.
Right.
And so then you're going to figure it out because it's there again. Diagnose before you prescribe.
Right. As you're saying this, I'm going through the past several calls I've had, and I don't think I'm asking enough questions. Really, it's I got the email. You're looking for my marketing is working. Thankfully, I'm getting the emails in. We need a proposal for this. We get on the call. We get on a Zoom, and I'm just telling them.
What you do?
Well, it's maybe it's assumed they know what I do, and it's how much is it, and that kind of thing. What I'm thinking. Have you hired a photographer before for events? What could be some questions that I could ask? I mean, I guess that like.
Have you hired a photographer before?
How did it go?
What were you happy? Right.
Right.
Yeah, certainly. How did it go? Why? I appreciate that, but why might you be calling me if you were happy? If that were the case.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Also, in your upfront contract, you can ask a question. I appreciate you speaking today. The purpose of our call here, Greg, is to see if what I do in my photography company here, firm, that could be of help to you. So what would certainly want to talk. Do you have a few minutes? So how much time do we have? But it would also be, Greg. So are we good for half an hour? I think we scheduled a half hour on our Calendly, right? So Greg, let's just pretend it's a half hour from now, and we're getting off this call. What would have made this a good meeting for you? And get from them what they want.
Right.
And then from my side, what I'll need to know, Greg, is what you're hoping to get. What are you hoping a photographer would deliver for you? I'd like to know if you've worked with anybody before. Were you happy? Some of your investment parameters, perhaps, if we get to that point, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool.
Is that cool?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of feel like, and I don't want this to be about, now it's a coaching.
You're good. Yeah.
So
real world. It's real.
Have we hired? I kind of feel like, and it could be wrong on this, but I feel like I'm getting a lot of inquiries from someone in the company that was told,
yes,
all right, go give me 3 estimates.
That's correct.
Kind of
correct.
thing.
Right.
So they reach out to me. In fact, it was kind of funny. On one of the recent emails I saw, there was, they forwarded an email, and on the other ones was, oh, we got to get 3 people or something. It was literally was that. Yeah. So what if they were to say, if I were to ask that question, what are you hoping to get from this call or whatever? What you do and your price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see that with other companies. I see that. We were talking earlier about another company earlier that does services, and they get a lot of, can we chat for 15 minutes? Hey, here's our event, and here's what we want to do, and here's how many people, and that's all they would get.
Yeah.
And they would, they're they're asking a lot of questions, you know. So, hey, look, I appreciate it when you got this mandate here, when you got this, you know, to reach out to people.
Yeah.
Do you know if they've ever worked with anybody before? Is this the first time they've had an event? You know, and by the way, who well, you know, do you look on LinkedIn for other people that you know in the company and things like that? Might that ever be? You know, that's for one thing. As soon as you get the name of that company, it's the first thing that
Okay.
I would want to do. But you
Right.
see, you have a meeting with someone, right? First thing you want to do is go into LinkedIn and see who they are. Because you want to bond with that person too. You know, hey, I see you went to you know,
Yeah.
this school. I see
Yeah.
you went there. It's not
Right.
just BSing, it's warming them up, and maybe they'll
Yeah.
go to bat for you, right? A little bit more. But you know, hey, who else? Appreciate that. Who else are you looking at? You know, oh, you're the first one, or hey, I saw 2 other companies.
Yeah, they want to. They typically, it's not typically discussed that they're looking. But I happen to see that in one of the emails.
Okay, but you could, but you have to ask.
Are you looking at other companies?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. It's so someone might say, yeah, I got to do my due diligence. I appreciate that. Good, makes good sense.
Yeah.
Who else would you mind me asking? Who else you're looking at? Many times they'll tell you.
Right.
Many times. You know, a lot of times people have head trash. We call it head trash.
Right,
You
right.
know, the belief that something's not going to work for you, and so you don't try. And you know, I always say we're in the head trash removal business. But that's our job, is to ask those questions that other people don't ask
Right.
in a nurturing way.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. I remember when I was at school at college in Massachusetts, I was a sophomore, I guess, and we were looking to move off campus for junior year. So we were calling and it was, you know, back then it was newspaper, and you go, oh, is it an apartment for rent or a house for rent or whatever. And we asked, you know, the woman was like on the phone, well, I don't know, you know, I'm getting a lot of calls. I don't know who I'm going to choose.
Right.
And I instinctively said, well, if you don't mind me asking, you know, what's the criteria by which you're going to make the choice? And she was like, all right, we'll go with you.
Wow.
she literally was like, all right, we'll give it to you. Wow. And I guess maybe she wasn't expecting a smart question or something. But that guy, I could ask that. Like, if you don't mind me asking, or if even you may or may not even know, you know, what's the main criteria by which you're going? That's a
Great question.
Okay.
Not only is it a great question, I write down.
Sorry,
Yeah.
and I could even say,
Your father.
I know.
Go ahead.
I know. I could do it with you.
I'll take your father's
It's my
advice now.
show, goddammit. So no, but like, could I even say, you know, look, I'm sure you're, or I would imagine you're shopping this out between the multiple. You're calling around a little bit.
Well, yeah, sure.
Yeah. We're looking at a few people, and then ask that, you know,
Yeah.
what's the.
It's a disarmingly honest system. You know, typically, you know, when I speak with people like you, sometimes, you know, they're looking at other photographers. You know, other times people say, hey, you know what? I was referred to Greg. He's the man. Make it happen. I'm wondering which one it is with you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I'm just referred, and people say, "Look, you don't need to look at anybody else. He's the man. Figure it out." I'm wondering where we are.
Okay. Well, I know these are all coming from Google.
I know, but you can still say that.
Oh.
It gives you more credibility. You know,
To assume that they may have been referred.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Well, you're doing it to find out. Well, you don't know just because it came from Google. You still don't know.
Yeah,
but
I don't
the
know.
chances are pretty good, but you don't know.
Right. Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah.
So I was going to say that I write down on index cards when there's an area I need to focus on, right, throughout the years. And one of them at a certain point was, I could picture this lime green card that said, always ask their criteria for saying yes or no.
Oh, right.
So that question that you had, so Greg, you know, what would be your criteria for determining if you wanted to throw my name in the ring, you know, to your boss? What's going to be that criteria? You know,
Yeah.
or what's the criteria your boss is looking for in order to
hire
right?
someone.
Are you free on this day, and can you do this? Right.
Right.
Yeah. Now, there's a lot of things. It could be, again, you own that. You're not. it's mindset. You're not just a photographer. I mean, you do world-class work.
Thank you.
Yep. And you have the rights, and typically so-and-so, when we have a conversation like this, and we get to the point of, if you think that I might be right for you, I also need to know that you're right for me. So, or something, right? So typically the next step would be to speak to your boss, provided you think that I have, in the preliminary steps here, you have what your boss, what he or she is looking for. So you're looking to speak to someone. You don't want to just show up. Pardon me. You're not looking just to show up. I gave my proposal. I'm going to give you X amount of stills. I'm going to give you a video. I'm going to give you this. And so it's like, I'd like to speak to someone. Typically, I speak to someone because I want to know not the ambiance, but what you're looking to accomplish,
the mission,
the
mission behind getting the photographer.
Exactly.
Is it social media? Is it internal? Is it external?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what helps me to really pinpoint and target you.
Yeah.
So you can do some things like that as well.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well,
All right. Yep.
we're probably coming down to our last topic. Let's.
What are we doing?
One more topic. Go for it. What is it? What do you want to talk about?
Oh my God.
The submarine? Come on.
I got sad news for you.
They got rid of it.
It's been retired.
It's been retired.
Yeah, the submarine's retired. Okay. I was mentioning something here today. I'd mentioned the flywheel a few times. Sandler has the flywheel.
Okay.
Yeah,
all
it's
right,
very effective.
All right.
Right?
Tell me.
Well, it's you just gotta. Well, the buyer's journey has changed. I mean, that's one thing for sure, right? And what's changed? Well, I used to say until last year or so, everybody had a Google PhD, right? Well, now they have a Google PhD and they have a ChatGPT or a Claude, PhD also, right?
Yeah.
So people are just very educated when they speak with you, and they think they kind of know a lot, and they do know a lot. They might not know it. They know facts. I don't know that they know how to do it, right? Well, I know they don't know how to do it, but people, it's just a different approach now, right? So what we're doing is helping people process from what they know, and helping in many cases figuring out that they're incorrect, right? And by doing this, helping them to see that you're the expert, right? So it's not as much. It's certainly not educating people, but it could be educating people through the questions that you ask, right?
Yeah.
There was a great, it's been a little bit now since I gave a talk at one of the Sandler conferences, and there was a line that I used that I had seen in our material somewhere along the way throughout the years, and that is, unless you help your prospect learn something through the questions that you ask, you are no different than any other salesperson that they are seeing.
Right.
Unless you help educate them. Now, people hear educate, they go, I can educate. No, I'm not looking to tell. I'm looking to have them learn it through the questions that you ask. And unless you do that, you're no different than anybody else. One last thought. If you get people ask questions where people say, good
I didn't
question.
think about that.
Well, that's a good one too.
Right.
And usually it comes out as, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I like to say, write down 3 GQs.
Yes.
Good question.
Yeah.
If in your call you heard somebody say, Greg, that's a good question. Because that means nobody else is asking it.
Right.
That shows you know your stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's how, see, that's selling value. Because they're learning something, but you didn't tell them. You asked it.
So there's a venue that we're recommended it at. It's called Manhattan. It's Manhattan without the N. Manhattan, beautiful place. 60th floor in the financial district. Wow. Beautiful views and everything. And the challenging thing at that venue, you're looking out at the entire Manhattan when you're up there. But the challenging thing is exposing a picture for the outside and the inside, right? So most people take a picture, the windows are all blown out because you're exposing it for the person in front of the window. But there's a way using flash techniques where I can see clearly outside and the person on the inside looks good. So I had asked that of the person inquiring. I said, have you put any consideration into the fact that the backlighting is very harsh there, And she's like, no, what do you mean? I said, well, you whether it's us or someone else, you need an experienced photographer who knows how to, So it really wasn't a question that they could go run and come back with an answer with, but it was something I brought up to say, are you familiar with the backlighting situation? Even if you're going to ask another company, at least you should know how to ask that question.
That's right.
And that I remember the reaction was, oh wow, okay, it was almost like, oh, I'm dealing with someone who knows what they're doing, kind of thing. Versus,
hey, product knowledge used at the wrong time can be dangerous, is what we say. But what we want you to do is to know your product, so you can ask questions about it, so that people would see, that you know what you're doing. Right. Another thing you can do is we call it presumptive questions, and she could say like, "Wow, no, we haven't thought about that," and you can say, "Well, when the other folks that you spoke to brought that up, how did they?"
Well, they didn't bring it up.
I'm sorry, they what?
Well, they didn't bring it up.
Okay, so you go selective hearing also when you want to hear. You don't go the whole what. But at a certain point, when somebody says something in your favor or against your competition, you do what we call selective hearing. I'm sorry, Greg, what'd you say?
Oh.
And then they repeat it and they internalize it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
Selling is a profession.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people say, hey, look, here's your electronic card. Here's your card. Here's your regular business card. Whatever you got, go out and meet people. Get out there. That's what companies say. Get out there. Okay, so you're out there. So imagine, look, an accountant had to pass the CPA in order to do your tax return, right? Would you go to if you were being audited? Hopefully, never, but if you were, would you go to a bookkeeper? I love bookkeepers. I have bookkeepers as clients. I use a bookkeeper. They're great. But if you're being audited, you'd like to have a CPA, I would assume, right? What about if you are being sued? Would you go to the paralegal? Again, wonderful profession, or an attorney that passed the bar. You're having surgery. Nurse practitioner or surgeon, board certified surgeon. When it comes to selling, where are they going to get their certifications? Actually, Sandler, not even actually, we have certifications. You have to pass your AI role plays. You have to, you could get certified from Essentials and every course beyond that, right? So it's like in martial arts, right? So it's a profession.
Yeah.
Engineers, architects, but salespeople, get out there.
Right.
Watch a YouTube.
Yeah.
Watch some of these things on Instagram. And you're supposed to be successful.
Yeah.
It's a profession. That would be the big takeaway for today.
Unbelievable, folks.
All right.
Thanks, Danny. You're the man.
I appreciat you, Greg. This was great.
Hopefully
Thank
one of many.
Appreciate
you
so much,
coming
man.
in.
You got it,
folks. If you're looking for the bet, granted, I haven't, evaluated them all, but I'm telling you that in my world, Sandler's the best, and Danny's amazing at delivering the material and getting you and your team, if you have a team, to internalize it and be the best at it. So.
Appreciate it, man.
All right. Thanks for coming in.
All right.